Chapter 1. The Forgotten Legend. Seoul under moonlight. The city of Seoul gleamed under the soft embrace of the moonlight. The bustling streets were quieter now, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy that pulls through the city during the day. Neon signs flickered, casting multicolored reflections onto the wet pavement from an earlier rain. The night air was cool, carrying the faint scent of the Han River that meandered through the heart of the city. Aeri walked home through one of Seoul's many winding alleys, her footsteps echoing in the stillness. The dim glow of streetlights cast long shadows, making the familiar path feel slightly eerie. She pulled her jacket tighter around her, glancing up at the full moon hanging in the sky. Something about tonight felt different, almost magical. She wasn't one to believe in the supernatural, but there was an unmistakable energy in the air, something ancient and powerful. It was as if the city itself was alive, whispering secrets that had long been forgotten. The discovery, as she passed by an old bookstore she had never noticed before. Something compelled her to stop. The shop's wooden sign creaked as it swayed gently in the breeze, and the windows were darkened by heavy curtains. Aeri hesitated, then pushed the door open, a small bell jingling to announce her arrival. Inside, the store was cluttered with dusty shelves stacked with books, some ancient and weathered, others newer but still worn. The air was thick with the smell of old paper and ink. An elderly man, the shopkeeper, looked up from behind the counter, his eyes twinkling with a kind of knowing curiosity. "Can I help you, young lady?" he asked, his voice gravelly yet warm. I'm not sure," Aeri replied, glancing around. "I just felt like I needed to come in here." The shopkeeper smiled, nodding as if he had heard this many times before. "People often find their way here when they're meant to. Feel free to look around. Perhaps there's something here that's calling to you." Aeri wandered through the narrow aisles, her fingers brushing against the spines of the books. One in particular caught her attention. It was a small leather-bound tome, tucked away on a shelf at the back of the store. The cover was embossed with a silver fox, its eyes gleaming like the moon itself. She pulled the book from the shelf, a shiver running down her spine as she opened it. The pages were filled with beautiful illustrations and strange symbols, but what drew her in were the words of an old legend she had never heard before. The Legend of the Silver Fox Spirits. The book told the story of the Silver Fox Spirits, ancient guardians of nature and balance. These spirits were said to be as old as the mountains, protectors of the land who could shape-shift between their fox forms and human appearances. They were wise, powerful, and deeply connected to the natural world, ensuring that the balance between light and dark, life and death was maintained. But as the legend went, the Silver Fox spirits had vanished centuries ago, their powers fading as the world around them changed. Yet, the book hinted at a prophecy, a time when the spirits would return, choosing a human to aid them in their mission to restore balance to a world threatened by a great darkness. Aeri couldn't tear her eyes away from the pages. The more she read, the more she felt an inexplicable connection to the story. It was as if the legend was speaking directly to her, reaching out across the centuries to pull her into its web. Suddenly, the shopkeeper was beside her, peering over her shoulder. "Ah, you've found the legend of the Silver Fox Spirits," he murmured, a tale not many remember these days. Aeri looked up at him, her heart racing. "Do you think it's true? The prophecy?" The old man's expression grew serious. "Legends are born from truth, young lady. Whether this prophecy is true or not depends on the one chosen to fulfill it." Before she could ask more, a gust of wind swept through the shop, ruffling the pages of the book in her hands. The lights flickered, and for a moment, Aeri thought she saw the silver fox from the cover moving, its eyes gleaming with life. She blinked, and the image stilled, but the sense of something otherworldly lingered. She hurriedly thanked the shopkeeper and left the store, the book clutched tightly to her chest. The night felt even more surreal as she walked home, the legend playing over and over in her mind. She had no idea that this forgotten tale would soon change her life forever. The mysterious encounter that night, as Aeri lay in bed, she couldn't sleep. Her mind was a whirl of thoughts. The strange events of the evening were playing like a dream she couldn't shake. Eventually, exhaustion took over, and she drifted into a deep sleep. but her dreams were anything but peaceful. She found herself standing in a forest bathed in silver light, the trees whispering secrets in a language she didn't understand. The air was thick with mist, and the ground beneath her feet was soft, covered in a blanket of fallen leaves. In the distance, she could hear the faint rustle of something moving through the underbrush. A figure emerged from the shadows, a fox with fur as silver as the moonlight, its eyes glowing with an eerie intelligence. It approached her slowly, its gaze never leaving hers. Aeri felt no fear, only a strange sense of familiarity, as if she had known this creature her entire life. The fox stopped before her, its eyes reflecting the moon like twin orbs of light. Then, to her astonishment, it spoke not with words, but with a voice that resonated within her mind. "Aeri," it said, "you have been chosen. The time has come for the silver fox spirits to awaken, and you must help us restore balance to the world." Before she could respond, the fox vanished, and the dream dissolved into darkness. Aeri awoke with a start, her heart pounding. The room was silent, the first light of dawn creeping through the curtains. She sat up, the weight of the dream pressing down on her. It had felt so real, more than any dream she had ever had before. She glanced at the book lying on her nightstand, its cover gleaming faintly in the early morning light. Something told her that this was only the beginning. Chapter 2. The Chosen One. Aeri's ordinary world. The morning after her strange dream, Aeri woke with a lingering sense of unease. The dream of the silver fox had been so vivid that she couldn't shake the feeling that it was more than just a product of her imagination. She glanced at the book on her nightstand again, the embossed fox on the cover seeming to watch her. Pushing aside the unsettling thoughts, Aeri tried to focus on her usual morning routine. She lived in a small, cozy apartment in the heart of Seoul, surrounded by the sights and sounds of the city she loved. As a graphic designer, she had a job that allowed her creativity to flourish, but she often found herself daydreaming about ancient myths and forgotten tales, just like the one she had discovered the night before. She met her best friend, Jin, for coffee at their favorite cafe before work. Jin was her rock, always there with a smile, a joke, or a bit of tech support whenever she needed it. He was the kind of friend who balanced her quiet introspection with his lively energy. "So, what's with the gloomy face?" Jin asked as they sat down with their drinks. "You look like you didn't get much sleep." Aeri hesitated, unsure of how to explain everything that had happened. "I had a really strange dream last night," she began, stirring her coffee absent-mindedly. "It felt different, like it wasn't just a dream." Jin raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Oh, do tell. You know I love a good supernatural story." Aeri recounted the events of the previous night, the discovery of the old bookstore, the mysterious book, and the dream of the silver fox. Jin listened intently, his expression growing more serious as she spoke. "And you say the fox spoke to you?" he asked, leaning forward. "Like, in your head?" Aeri nodded, feeling a little self-conscious. "Yeah. It was like I could hear it without it actually saying anything. And it told me I was chosen for something. It all sounds crazy, doesn't it?" Jin leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful look on his face. "Well, if you're crazy, then you're in good company. You know I'm into this kind of stuff, Aeri. Maybe there's more to it than just a dream. You should keep digging." Aeri smiled, feeling a bit better with Jin's support. "Maybe you're right. It's just, I don't even know where to start." The initial encounter, later that evening, as Aeri walked home, she couldn't stop thinking about the dream. Every shadow seemed to hide something more, every gust of wind carrying whispers just out of reach. She felt as though she were on the brink of something extraordinary, and it both excited and frightened her. As she passed by a small park, she decided to take a detour and clear her mind. The park was quiet, the only sounds coming from the rustling of leaves and the distant hum of traffic. Aeri sat on a bench, gazing up at the night sky, when she suddenly felt a strange sensation, a tingle, that started at the base of her spine and spread throughout her body. The air around her seemed to grow thicker, charged with a kind of energy she couldn't quite define. A faint, silver light began to shimmer in the corner of her vision. Aeri turned, her breath catching in her throat. There, standing at the edge of the park, was the silver fox from her dream. Its fur glowed softly in the moonlight, and its eyes, those impossibly intelligent eyes, locked onto hers. The world around them seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of them in a moment suspended in time. The fox stepped closer, its movements graceful and deliberate. Aeri felt a wave of calm wash over her, replacing the initial shock with a deep sense of connection. She knew, without a doubt, that this was the same creature she had seen in her dream. "Are you real?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. The fox didn't respond with words, but she felt its presence in her mind, just as she had in the dream. "I am as real as you are, Aeri. You have been chosen, and it is time for you to fulfill your destiny." Aeri's heart raced. "But why me? What am I supposed to do?" "You will understand in time," the fox replied. "For now, trust in the bond we share. You are the key to restoring balance, and the silver fox spirits will guide you." Before she could ask more, the fox began to fade, its form dissolving into the night air until only the soft glow of the moon remained. Aeri sat there, stunned and overwhelmed by the encounter. She knew, deep down, that her life was about to change in ways she couldn't yet comprehend. A new reality. Over the next few days, Aeri tried to go about her life as usual, but nothing felt the same. The world seemed brighter, more vivid, as if her senses had been heightened. She began to notice things she had never seen before, small details in nature, the subtle energy that flowed through the city, and even the emotions of the people around her. Jin noticed the change in her almost immediately. "You're different," he said one afternoon as they worked on a project together. "It's like you're more aware of everything." "Did something else happen after our talk?" Aeri hesitated, then decided to confide in him. "I saw the fox again. It wasn't just a dream this time, it was real. I don't know how, but it's like I'm connected to it somehow." Jin's eyes widened. "Seriously? That's incredible. I mean, it's definitely not something you hear every day, but it sounds like you're meant for something bigger, Aeri." Aeri smiled, grateful for his support. "Maybe. I just wish I knew what it all means." As the days passed, Aeri began to embrace the changes she was experiencing. She continued to study the book she had found, learning more about the silver fox spirits and their ancient role as guardians. The more she read, the more she felt a sense of responsibility growing within her. The dream had been real, and the fox had chosen her for a reason. She couldn't ignore it any longer. Whatever destiny awaited her, she would face it head on. Chapter 3. The Dark Shadow. Strange occurrences in Seoul. Days turned into weeks, and Seoul's vibrant streets carried on as usual, or so it seemed. Beneath the surface of the city's bustling life, subtle yet unsettling changes began to occur. Aeri was the first to notice them. At first, it was nothing more than a feeling, a chill that would settle over her unexpectedly, a shiver that ran down her spine in broad daylight. The sky, usually so clear and blue in early autumn, began to darken inexplicably, with thick clouds rolling in without warning. Even the cherry trees, though months past their bloom, seemed to sway in a breeze that wasn't there. Aeri's connection to the silver fox spirits heightened her awareness of these anomalies. She could feel the disturbance in the air, like a ripple spreading through water. It was as if the city itself was holding its breath, waiting for something ominous to be unleashed. One evening, as she made her way home from work, she passed by a usually crowded marketplace. Tonight, it was eerily empty. The vibrant stalls that sold everything from fresh produce to handmade crafts stood abandoned. The air felt thick, oppressive. Aeri paused, looking around. Something wasn't right. She could feel the presence of something dark and unseen lurking just beyond her sight. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, startling her. It was a text from Jin. "Jin, hey, did you notice how weird the weather's been? I swear it's like the city's got its own mood swings lately. Meet up?" Aeri quickly replied. "Aeri, yeah, I've noticed. Heading home now. But we should talk." She hurried home, her unease growing with every step. As she entered her apartment, she was greeted by a deep, unsettling silence. The usual hum of city life that seeped in through her windows seemed to have faded away. Aeri's eyes were drawn to the window, where she saw something that made her blood run cold. Outside, the streetlights flickered, casting long, distorted shadows on the pavement. But it wasn't the shadows that frightened her, it was the way they moved. twisting and contorting as if alive. She watched, frozen in place, as the shadows began to merge, forming a dark, amorphous shape that slowly started to rise from the ground. The air in the room grew colder, and Aeri could feel an intense malevolent energy emanating from the shadowy figure. Before she could react, the dark entity suddenly dissipated, melting back into the shadows as if it had never been there. The streetlights returned to normal, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. Aeri collapsed onto her couch, trembling. She knew now, without a doubt, that something dark had awakened in the city. Aeri's realization. The next morning, Aeri met Jin at their usual cafe, but the atmosphere between them was tense. She recounted the events of the previous night, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think it's connected to the silver fox spirits," Aeri said, gripping her coffee cup tightly. "The city, it's changing. Something dark is coming, Jin. I can feel it." Jin listened carefully, his expression serious. "You're not the only one who's noticed," he said. "I've been keeping an eye on the news there. There's been a spike in strange incidents all over Seoul. People are reporting strange weather patterns, power outages, even sudden disappearances." Aeri's heart skipped a beat. "Disappearances? Do they know what's causing them?" Jin shook his head. "No one has a clue, but I've been digging into some old reports, and there's a pattern. Every few decades, right before these disappearances start, there are always reports of strange phenomena just like what we're seeing now." Aeri leaned in closer. "What kind of phenomena?" "Unexplained cold spots, sudden changes in weather, and people seeing shadows move on their own. It's all been documented before, but no one's ever been able to explain it." Jin hesitated, then added, "I think it might be connected to the legends you've been reading about." Aeri's mind raced. "The silver fox spirits. They've always been protectors, right? If something is threatening the city, then maybe it's my responsibility to stop it." Jin nodded. "But you can't do it alone, Aeri. Whatever this is, it's dangerous. We need to find out more about what we're dealing with and why it's happening now." Seeking guidance. That evening, Aeri returned to the old bookstore, where she had found the book about the silver fox spirits. The shop was as mysterious as ever, with its shelves filled with ancient tomes and trinkets from eras long past. The elderly shopkeeper greeted her with a knowing smile. "Ah, you've come back. I was expecting you." Aeri blinked in surprise. "You were?" The shopkeeper nodded, her eyes twinkling with a wisdom that belied her age. "The foxes chose you, didn't they? I can see it in your eyes, the spark of the spirits. You're the one they've been waiting for." Aeri felt a shiver run down her spine. "I don't know what's happening," she admitted, "but I think something dark has awakened in the city, and I need to stop it. Can you help me?" The shopkeeper beckoned her closer and led her to a small, dusty section of the shop. She pulled out an ancient scroll from one of the shelves and carefully unrolled it on the counter. "This scroll tells the story of an ancient enemy of the silver fox spirits," the shopkeeper explained, "a being of darkness that once sought to harness the power of the spirits for its own gain. It was sealed away centuries ago, but legends say that it could rise again if the balance between light and dark is disturbed." Aeri studied the scroll, her heart sinking as she read the ominous words. The description of the dark entity matched the shadowy figure she had seen the night before. "Is there a way to stop it?" she asked, her voice trembling. The shopkeeper looked at her with a grave expression. "There is, but it won't be easy. You must gather allies, those who also bear the mark of the spirits. Together, you can confront the darkness and restore balance. But be warned, young one. The path ahead is fraught with danger. You will face trials that will test your strength and resolve." Aeri nodded, determination hardening in her chest. "I don't care how dangerous it is. I'll do whatever it takes to protect this city." The shopkeeper smiled gently and placed a hand on Aeri's shoulder. "Then you have already taken the first step. Trust in the spirits and trust in yourself. The fate of Seoul is in your hands." As Aeri left the bookstore, the weight of her responsibility pressed down on her like never before. The dark shadow looming over Seoul was more than just a threat to the city. It was a test of her newfound powers, her courage, and her will to protect the people she loved. And so, with the spirit's guidance, Aeri vowed to find the other chosen ones and prepare for the battle that lay ahead. Chapter 4. The Ancient Enemy. Historical context. The city of Seoul, rich in history and tradition, had its share of legends and myths. Among them was the tale of Jaehua, a name that resonated through the ages as both a warning and a source of fear. Aeri's investigation into this ancient enemy began with the scroll she had found in the bookstore, but she needed more information to understand the full scope of the threat. Armed with the knowledge from the scroll, Aeri sought the help of Sujin, a young scholar and historian who specialized in Korean folklore and mythology. Sujin was known for her extensive knowledge of ancient texts and her ability to decipher old manuscripts. They met in Sujin's small but well-organized study at the university. The room was filled with stacks of books, ancient scrolls and artifacts, creating an atmosphere of quiet scholarly pursuit. Aeri laid the scroll on Sujin's desk. "I need your help to understand this," she said. "It's about an ancient enemy of the silver fox spirits. I think it's connected to the recent disturbances in the city." Sujin examined the scroll with a scholarly eye, her brows furrowing as she read the text. "Jaehua," she murmured. "I've heard of him. The legends say he was once a powerful guardian, much like the silver fox spirits. But he became corrupted by his desire for more power." Aeri listened intently as Sujin continued. "Jaehua sought to harness the energy of the spirits for his own gain, believing that he could bring about a new era of prosperity by controlling their power. However, his ambition led to his downfall. The spirits, with the help of ancient guardians, managed to seal him away in a hidden realm, trapping him for centuries." The ancient enemy's motivations. Sujin looked up from the scroll, her eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and concern. The scroll mentions that Jaehua is a master of dark magic and manipulation. He can control shadows and summon lesser spirits to do his bidding. His goal is to break free from his prison and reclaim his lost power. Aeri's mind raced. "So, the disturbances we've been seeing, are they connected to Jaehua's attempt to break free?" Sujin nodded. "It's highly likely. The balance between light and dark has been disturbed, which might be weakening the barrier that holds him. If Jaehua manages to escape, he could wreak havoc on the city and beyond." Aeri's determination hardened. "We have to stop him. But how do we prevent him from escaping?" "Gathering allies." Sujin took a deep breath. "The key to defeating Jaehua lies in gathering allies who possess a connection to the spirits. You'll need their combined strength to confront him and restore balance." Aeri nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I've already met Jin, who's been a huge help, and I'll need to find others who are connected to the spirits. Do you have any ideas on where to look?" Sujin considered for a moment. "There's an old legend about a group of guardians who were once tasked with protecting the spirits. Their descendants might still carry the mark of the spirits. You should seek them out. They could be your best chance at forming a team capable of facing Jaehua." The search begins. With Sujin's guidance, Aeri began her search for the descendants of the ancient guardians. She followed leads that took her to various parts of the city, from old temples to hidden shrines. Each location offered clues but also presented challenges. One evening, while exploring a small shrine dedicated to the spirits, Aeri met Minho, a skilled martial artist with a mysterious past. He was training in the shrine's courtyard, his movements fluid and precise. Aeri watched in awe, sensing a powerful energy surrounding him. After his training session, Aeri approached him. "Are you one of the guardians?" she asked. "I need your help." Minho looked up, his eyes narrowing as he assessed her. "Who are you? And why should I help you?" Aeri explained her connection to the silver fox spirits and the threat posed by Jaehua. Minho listened, his expression serious. "The spirits have indeed chosen you," he said. "I've felt their presence in my life. I will join you, but you must prove that you are worthy of the guardian's trust." The test of strength. Minho led Aeri to a secluded area where he set up a series of trials, designed to test her physical and mental endurance. Each trial was a challenge, pushing Aeri to her limits. She faced obstacles that tested her agility, strength, and determination. Despite the difficulties, Aeri persevered, driven by her commitment to protect the city and fulfill her destiny. Minho watched her with a mix of respect and approval. "You have proven yourself," he said. "You are ready to face the trials ahead. I will fight alongside you." With Minho's agreement, Aeri felt a surge of hope. but she knew that finding the rest of her allies was crucial to their success. There were still more pieces of the puzzle to uncover and more allies to gather. As the sun set over Seoul, Aeri and Minho stood side by side, looking out over the city. The battle against Jaehwa was just beginning, and they would need all the help they could get to confront the ancient enemy and restore balance. Chapter 5. The Gathering. Allies assemble. With Minho's addition to the team, Aeri felt more confident in her mission, but she knew that the battle against Jaehwa required more than just strength and determination. It required a diverse group of allies, each with unique abilities and connections to the Silver Fox spirits. Aeri and Minho set out to find the remaining allies, guided by Sujin's research and their own intuition. Their first destination was a university where Sujin had mentioned a young scholar who had been studying ancient Korean folklore. Meeting Sujin, the university was a sprawling campus, bustling with students and faculty. Aeri and Minho made their way to the library, where Sujin had suggested they look for Sujin, a historian who might have more information on the Silver Fox spirits. As they approached the library, they noticed Sujin working at a table surrounded by books and scrolls. She looked up as they approached, her eyes bright with curiosity. "Have you found something?" Sujin asked eagerly. Aeri nodded. "We've found Minho, who has agreed to join us. Now we need your help to find more allies who have a connection to the spirits." Sujin's face lit up. "I know of another person who might be of help. Her name is Hannah. She's a former guardian who lives in a secluded area outside the city. She's known for her deep connection to the spirits and her knowledge of ancient rituals." The search for Hannah, guided by Sujin's directions, Aeri and Minho traveled to a picturesque area on the outskirts of Seoul. The journey took them through lush forests and serene landscapes, a stark contrast to the bustling city they had left behind. After hours of hiking, they reached a small, traditional Korean house nestled among the trees. The house exuded an aura of tranquility and ancient wisdom. Aeri and Minho approached the house and were greeted by an elderly woman with a warm, welcoming smile. This was Hannah, the former guardian. Her presence was calm and reassuring, and her eyes seemed to hold the wisdom of centuries. "Welcome," Hannah said, her voice gentle. "I have been expecting you." Aeri and Minho explained their mission and the threat posed by Jaehwa. Hannah listened attentively, her expression growing more serious as they spoke. Hannah's acceptance. Hannah nodded thoughtfully. "The spirits have indeed chosen you, Aeri. I have felt their call and sensed a disturbance in the balance. I will help you, but first, you must prove that you are ready to embrace the responsibility of a guardian." She led them to a sacred grove, where she conducted a series of rituals designed to test Aeri's connection to the spirits and her ability to harness their power. The rituals involved meditation, offering prayers, and performing ancient ceremonies that connected Aeri with the spiritual realm. As Aeri completed the rituals, she felt a deeper connection to the Silver Fox spirits and gained insights into her role as their protector. Hannah observed with a sense of pride and approval. "You have shown that you are ready," Hannah said. "Together, we will stand against the darkness that threatens our world." Recruiting Sujin. With Hannah's agreement, Aeri and Minho returned to the city to enlist Sujin, who had been researching tirelessly. Sujin was eager to join the team, her knowledge of ancient texts and folklore proving invaluable. "Now that we have a full team," Sujin said, "we need to devise a plan to confront Jaehwa and prevent him from escaping his prison." Preparing for the confrontation, the team gathered at Hannah's house to strategize. They reviewed the information they had gathered and discussed their approach. The plan involved locating the hidden realm where Jaehwa was imprisoned and reinforcing the barrier that held him. Hannah shared her knowledge of the rituals and spells needed to protect the city and strengthen the barrier. Minho prepared for the physical challenges they might face, while Sujin continued her research to uncover any additional clues about Jaehwa's weaknesses. Aeri felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The task ahead was daunting, but with her newfound allies and their combined strengths, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. Building team dynamics. As the days passed, the team bonded through their shared mission. Aeri and Minho's initial differences were bridged by their mutual respect and understanding. Sujin's knowledge complemented Hannah's experience, creating a well-rounded team with diverse skills. They trained together, rehearsed their plan, and supported each other through the challenges they faced. The camaraderie and trust they built were crucial for the journey ahead. Chapter 6. The Battle for Seoul. The tension builds. As the days turned into nights, the disturbances in Seoul grew more frequent and severe. Unusual weather patterns, sudden power outages, and eerie occurrences became commonplace. The city was on edge, and the sense of impending danger was palpable. The citizens whispered about the disturbances, their fears growing with each passing day. Aeri, Minho, Hana, and Sujin worked tirelessly to prepare for the confrontation with Jaehwa. Their strategy was to locate the hidden realm where Jaehwa was imprisoned and reinforce the barrier that held him. They knew that time was running out, and they had to act quickly to prevent him from escaping. The search for the hidden realm. Hana led the team to an ancient site, mentioned in the scrolls and texts they had studied. It was a remote area, shrouded in mist and legend, said to be the entrance to the hidden realm. The site was a series of intricate stone carvings and ancient symbols that had been weathered by time. Sujin examined the carvings, deciphering their meaning and uncovering the path to the hidden realm. The symbols indicated that the realm was concealed by powerful wards and protective enchantments, which Jaehwa's dark magic might be attempting to disrupt. As they approached the entrance, they felt an ominous energy in the air. The ground trembled, and shadows danced around them, a sign of Jaehwa's influence seeping through the barrier. Breaking through, the team had to navigate through a series of magical barriers and traps that Jaehwa had set up to deter any would-be intruders. Minho led the way, using his combat skills to protect the group from the physical threats, while Hana and Sujin worked to counteract the dark magic and re-establish the wards. The challenges were intense, but the team's unity and determination kept them moving forward. Aeri felt the weight of her responsibility as the chosen one, but she was bolstered by the strength and support of her allies. The hidden realm unveiled. After overcoming numerous obstacles, the team finally reached the hidden realm's entrance. It was a vast, surreal landscape, a stark contrast to the city they had left behind. The realm was a dark, ethereal void, filled with shifting shadows and distorted echoes. At the heart of the realm stood a massive, foreboding structure, Jaehwa's prison. The structure was a twisted amalgamation of dark magic and ancient architecture, pulsating with a malevolent energy. The confrontation begins. As they approached the structure, Jaehwa's presence became palpable. His voice echoed through the realm, a sinister blend of charm and menace. "You dare to challenge me?" he intoned, his voice reverberating through the void. The team readied themselves for the confrontation. Minho took the lead, engaging Jaehwa's shadow minions with swift, precise strikes. Hana and Sujin worked together to maintain the protective wards and counteract Jaehwa's dark magic. Aeri faced Jaehwa directly, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and resolve. "You will not escape," she declared. "We will protect the balance and stop your reign of terror." The battle escalates. Jaehwa's dark magic surged, and the battle intensified. Shadows writhed and twisted around them, and the structure seemed to come alive with dark energy. The team fought valiantly, their combined efforts pushing back against Jaehwa's onslaught. Aeri drew upon her connection with the Silver Fox spirits, channeling their energy into powerful attacks. She could feel the spirit's presence guiding and empowering her, their light cutting through the darkness. Despite their efforts, Jaehwa proved to be a formidable adversary. His mastery of dark magic allowed him to manipulate the environment and summon more minions. The battle seemed to stretch endlessly, with no clear end in sight. The turning point. In the midst of the chaos, Sujin uncovered a crucial piece of information from an ancient manuscript she had studied. The manuscript revealed that Jaehwa's power was tied to a central artifact within the prison, an orb that contained his essence. Sujin shared the revelation with the team, and Aeri realized that destroying the orb could weaken Jaehwa and tip the scales in their favor. However, accessing the orb was no easy task. It was guarded by powerful enchantments and traps. A desperate plan. Aeri and Minho devised a plan to distract Jaehwa and his minions while Hana and Sujin focused on reaching the orb. Minho's combat skills created openings for Hana and Sujin, who worked tirelessly to overcome the obstacles protecting the orb. As Hana and Sujin approached the orb, Jaeho's anger grew. He unleashed a final, desperate assault on the team, his dark magic swirling around them with unprecedented ferocity. The sacrifice. In a moment of selflessness and bravery, Minho made a critical decision. He launched himself into the heart of the battle, drawing Jaeho's attention and taking the brunt of the dark magic's fury. His sacrifice allowed Hana and Sujin to reach the orb. Hana performed a powerful ritual, channeling her magic into the orb. The orb shattered with a blinding flash of light, and Jaeho's form writhed in agony as his power was siphoned away. Victory and loss. With the destruction of the orb, Jaeho's dark magic began to crumble. The hidden realm structure started to collapse, and the shadows receded. The team regrouped, but the victory was bittersweet. Minho had fallen during the battle, his sacrifice crucial to their success. Aeri felt a profound sense of loss and grief as they emerged from the hidden realm. The city of Seoul was safe, but the cost of their victory was significant. Chapter 7. The Sacrifice. The Aftermath. The sun was beginning to rise over Seoul, casting a soft light on the city that had been plunged into darkness. The battle with Jaehwa had ended, but the victory felt hollow. Aeri, Hana, and Sujin emerged from the hidden realm, their faces etched with exhaustion and sorrow. Minho's sacrifice had saved them all, but the cost was deeply felt. The team gathered at Hana's secluded home, a quiet place far from the city's chaos. The serenity of the surroundings seemed to contrast sharply with the turmoil within their hearts. Grieving in reflection, the mood was somber as they gathered around a small candlelit table. Hana prepared tea and offered comfort, her presence a steadying force for the grieving team. Aeri, her eyes red and swollen from tears, sat in silence. She couldn't shake the image of Minho's final moments, the bravery and selflessness that had allowed them to succeed. Hana placed a comforting hand on Aeri's shoulder. Minho's sacrifice was not in vain. His courage has ensured that the city is safe and that Jaehwa's darkness is gone. Sujin nodded, her eyes reflecting the weight of the loss. We need to honor Minho's memory by continuing our work and protecting the balance he fought so hard to preserve. The city's recovery. The city of Seoul began to recover from the chaos that had ensued during the battle. News of the strange occurrences and the mysterious heroes who had intervened spread through the community, though the details remained shrouded in secrecy. Aeri and the team helped in the recovery efforts, using their abilities and knowledge to restore stability and ensure the safety of the citizens. Aeri took on a prominent role in leading the efforts, her resolve strengthened by Minho's sacrifice. The team worked together to repair the damage caused by Jaehwa's dark magic. Sujin's knowledge of ancient text was crucial in dispelling lingering enchantments, while Hana used her expertise to perform rituals that would maintain the balance. The tribute. In honor of Minho's sacrifice, Aeri organized a tribute in the city's central park, a place that had been a symbol of peace and unity. The tribute was attended by those who had been touched by the recent events, including citizens who had witnessed the hero's bravery. Aeri spoke to the gathered crowd, her voice steady despite the emotions she felt. Today, we remember Minho and the countless others who have fought for our safety. Their sacrifice reminds us of the strength and courage within us all. A memorial was unveiled, a statue of Minho standing as a testament to his bravery and selflessness. The statue was adorned with flowers and inscriptions that honored his legacy. The new guardian, with the immediate threat behind them, Aeri began to focus on her new role as the guardian of the Silver Fox spirits. Hana's guidance was invaluable as Aeri learned to navigate her responsibilities and harness her abilities. Hana taught Aeri how to maintain the connection with the spirits and ensure that the balance between the spiritual and physical realms was upheld. The rituals and ceremonies became a regular part of Aeri's life, grounding her in her new role. Sujin continued her studies, documenting the events and the lessons learned from their experiences. Her research aimed to preserve the knowledge and ensure that future generations would be prepared to face similar challenges. Moving forward, as the city of Seoul rebuilt and healed, Aeri found a renewed sense of purpose. The battle with Jaehwa had tested her in ways she had never imagined, but it had also revealed her inner strength and resilience. The team's bond grew stronger as they worked together to protect the city and honor Minho's memory. Each member of the team had found their place in the ongoing mission to safeguard the balance between the spiritual and physical realms. A new beginning. In the final moments of the chapter, Aeri stood at the edge of the park, looking out over the city. The sky was clear, and the sun was shining brightly, symbolizing a new beginning for Seoul and for her. Aeri's thoughts were filled with both gratitude and determination. She had embraced her role as the guardian and was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The legacy of the Silver Fox spirits and the lessons learned from their journey would guide her in her new path. The chapter ends with Aeri's reflection on the journey and her resolve to continue protecting the city and the balance between the realms. The story of the Silver Fox spirits and their guardians was far from over, and Aeri was ready to embrace her new role with hope and courage. Chapter 8. The Silver Fox Legacy. A new role. With the city recovering and the immediate threat behind them, Aeri embraced her new role as the guardian of the Silver Fox spirits. Under Hannah's mentorship, she delved deeper into the ancient traditions and rituals that had long been a part of the spirits' protection. The Silver Fox spirits, once a distant legend, now became Aeri's constant companions. Their presence was subtle yet profound, guiding her through her duties and offering wisdom in times of uncertainty. The spirits communicated through dreams and signs, their ethereal forms appearing in moments of need. Learning the ropes, Hannah's guidance was crucial as Aeri adapted to her new responsibilities. They spent hours in quiet contemplation and practice, performing rituals to maintain the balance between the spiritual and physical realms. Hannah taught Aeri how to read the signs of the spirits and interpret their messages, emphasizing the importance of intuition and patience. Aeri also learned about the various artifacts and symbols connected to the Silver Fox spirits. Each artifact held a unique power or significance, and understanding their history and uses became an integral part of her training. Maintaining the balance. The balance between the spiritual and physical realms was delicate, and Aeri took her responsibilities seriously. She established regular ceremonies to honor the spirits and keep the protective wards in place. These ceremonies were held in sacred locations around the city, places that were imbued with the spirit's energy. The ceremonies also served to connect with the community, educating them about the importance of respecting and protecting the natural world. Aeri worked to foster a sense of harmony between the people of Seoul and the spiritual realm, promoting awareness and understanding, building new alliances. As Aeri settled into her role, she recognized the importance of building alliances to support her mission. She reached out to individuals and groups who had shown an interest in the supernatural or had experience with ancient lore. Sujin continued her research, expanding her knowledge of Korean folklore and mythology. Her expertise proved invaluable as she uncovered new information about the Silver Fox, spirits, and potential threats to their balance. Aeri also formed connections with other guardians and spiritual practitioners, learning from their experiences and sharing insights. These alliances provided additional support and resources, helping to strengthen the network of protection around the city. Aeri's personal growth. Aeri's journey was as much about personal growth as it was about fulfilling her role as a guardian. She faced challenges and doubts, but with each trial, she grew more confident and capable. The spirit's guidance and the support of her allies helped her navigate the complexities of her new life. The experiences of the past months had changed Aeri, deepening her appreciation for the world around her and her sense of purpose. She found solace in the rituals and ceremonies, their rhythmic patterns providing a sense of stability and connection. A tribute to the fallen, in honor of Minho and the sacrifices made during the battle, Aeri organized a memorial event at the Central Park. The event was attended by the citizens of Seoul, as well as members of the spiritual community who had come to pay their respects. The memorial included a ceremonial unveiling of a new monument, dedicated to Minho and all those who had contributed to the protection of the city. The monument depicted the Silver Fox spirits and Minho's statue, symbolizing the unity and strength that had emerged from their collective efforts. Aeri spoke at the memorial, her words a tribute to Minho's legacy and the ongoing mission to safeguard the balance. Minho's bravery and sacrifice have shown us the true meaning of courage and selflessness. We honor his memory by continuing to protect the balance and cherish the spirit of unity that binds us all. The future awaits as the sun set over Seoul, casting a warm glow on the city. Aeri reflected on the journey she had undertaken. The path ahead was filled with both challenges and opportunities, but she was ready to face them with determination and hope. The legacy of the Silver Fox spirits was now intertwined with Aeri's own story, and she was committed to preserving that legacy for future generations. The balance between the spiritual and physical realms was a continuous endeavor, and Aeri was prepared to navigate the complexities of her role with grace and wisdom. The chapter concludes with Aeri standing at the edge of the park, looking out over the city. The monument to Minho and the spirits served as a reminder of the journey and the ongoing mission. Aeri's resolve was unwavering, and she was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 9. A City Reborn, Rebuilding and Healing. With the immediate aftermath of the battle behind them, Seoul began the process of rebuilding and healing. The city's recovery was a monumental task, but the community came together, united by the shared experience and the desire to restore normalcy. Aeri, Hannah, and Sujin played key roles in the recovery efforts. They worked alongside city officials and volunteers, offering their skills and knowledge to address the damage caused by Jaehua's dark magic. Aeri's connection with the Silver Fox spirits was particularly beneficial, as she helped to repair and strengthen the spiritual wards around the city. The citizens of Seoul were deeply affected by the events, and there was a renewed sense of appreciation for the natural world and the spiritual forces that protected them. The Silver Fox spirits had become a symbol of hope and resilience, and their legacy was woven into the city's recovery. Symbolic changes. As the city healed, symbolic changes began to emerge. Public spaces were transformed to honor the Silver Fox spirits and the heroes who had protected them. The Central Park, where the memorial to Minho and the spirits had been erected, became a place of reflection and celebration. Aeri collaborated with local artists and architects to create a series of installations throughout the city. These installations depicted scenes from the legend of the Silver Fox spirits and celebrated the unity and strength of the community. Murals and sculptures adorned public spaces, serving as reminders of the city's resilience and the importance of balance. Aeri's new initiatives. In her role as the Guardian, Aeri initiated several new projects to foster a deeper connection between the spiritual and physical realms. She established a center dedicated to the study and preservation of Korean folklore and spirituality. The center offered educational programs and workshops, promoting awareness and understanding of the spiritual traditions and their significance. Aeri also worked to create community events that celebrated the harmony between people and nature. Festivals and ceremonies were organized to honor the changing seasons and the spirits, encouraging a greater appreciation for the natural world and the spiritual forces that influenced it. A bond strengthened. The bond between Aeri and her allies grew stronger as they worked together to rebuild and protect the city. Hannah's wisdom and experience continued to guide Aeri, while Sujin's research provided valuable insights into the spiritual and historical aspects of their mission. Jin, Aeri's tech-savvy friend, returned to offer his support. He used his skills to assist in various projects, from creating interactive displays at the center to developing technology that helped monitor and maintain the spiritual wards. The team's camaraderie and shared experiences deepened their relationships, creating a strong support network that extended beyond their professional roles. A new sense of purpose. As the city continued to recover, Aeri found a new sense of purpose in her role as the Guardian. The challenges and sacrifices of the past had shaped her into a leader and protector, and she embraced her responsibilities with dedication and enthusiasm. The legacy of the Silver Fox spirits was a guiding force in her life, and Aeri was committed to preserving their balance and ensuring that the city remained a place of harmony and resilience. The rituals and ceremonies became a cherished part of her routine, providing a sense of connection and continuity. Looking to the future of Seoul was filled with promise and potential. The city had emerged from the darkness of the battle with a renewed sense of hope and unity. The efforts of Aeri and her allies had set the stage for a brighter future, one where the balance between the spiritual and physical realms was carefully maintained. Aeri stood at the edge of the park, overlooking the city as the sun dipped below the horizon. The lights of the city sparkled in the twilight, a testament to the resilience and strength of its people. The silver fox spirits seemed to watch over the city, their presence a reassuring reminder of the protection they provided. The chapter concludes with Aeri's reflection on the journey and her optimism for the future. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment in her role as the guardian and was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The city of Seoul had been reborn, and Aeri was prepared to continue her mission with hope and determination. Chapter 10. A New Beginning. Future Challenges. As Seoul embraced its new era of balance and harmony, Aeri and her allies knew that their work was far from over. The world was filled with both wonder and danger, and maintaining the equilibrium between the spiritual and physical realms required constant vigilance. Aeri's role as the guardian had introduced her to new responsibilities and challenges. She began to receive reports of unusual disturbances in other parts of Korea, signs of ancient magic and spiritual unrest that needed attention. The news reached her through cryptic messages from the silver fox spirits, hinting at emerging threats, new adventures. Determined to address these new challenges, Aeri planned expeditions to investigate the disturbances. She enlisted the help of Sujin, Hana, and Jin, each bringing their expertise to the mission. Their adventures took them to various locations across Korea, each with its own rich tapestry of folklore and spiritual significance. Their travels led them to remote villages, ancient temples, and forgotten ruins. They encountered a range of mystical creatures and beings, each presenting unique challenges and insights. Along the way, they discovered that the disturbances were interconnected, pointing to a larger, looming threat. Aeri's growth. Aeri's experiences on these missions tested her abilities and wisdom. She learned to navigate the complexities of different spiritual traditions and forge alliances with local guardians and practitioners. Her understanding of the silver fox spirits deepened, and she developed new skills to address the diverse challenges she faced. The adventures also brought personal growth for Aeri. She confronted her fears and insecurities, learning to trust her instincts and rely on her team. The trials she faced strengthened her resolve and enhanced her connection to the spirits. A mysterious artifact. During one of their expeditions, the team discovered an ancient artifact with a mysterious inscription. The artifact was a key to an old prophecy that spoke of a great upheaval threatening the balance between realms. The prophecy hinted at a powerful force seeking to exploit the spiritual energies for its own gain. The artifact's clues guided Aeri and her team to a hidden realm, a place where ancient magic and forgotten legends converged. They uncovered secrets about the prophecy and the nature of the looming threat, which was tied to a powerful entity seeking to harness the energy of the silver fox spirits. A new threat. The entity known as the Shadow Sovereign was a dark force that had been lying dormant for centuries. Its awakening was the source of the recent disturbances, and it sought to dominate the spiritual realm and disrupt the balance. The Shadow Sovereign's motives were driven by a desire for ultimate power and control. The revelation of this new threat added a sense of urgency to Aeri's mission. She and her allies prepared for a confrontation with the Shadow Sovereign, knowing that the outcome would determine the fate of both the spiritual and physical realms. The final confrontation. The confrontation with the Shadow Sovereign took place in a climactic battle, combining elements of strategy, bravery, and magic. The team faced formidable challenges as they fought to protect the balance and prevent the Shadow Sovereign from achieving its goals. Aeri's leadership and the support of her allies proved crucial in overcoming the Shadow Sovereign. The battle tested their resolve and unity, but their combined strength and determination prevailed. A hopeful future, with the Shadow Sovereign defeated and the balance restored. Aeri and her team returned to Seoul, where they were met with gratitude and celebration. The city had weathered the storm and emerged stronger, its people more connected to the spiritual forces that protected them. Aeri continued her role as the guardian, dedicated to maintaining the balance and ensuring the safety of the city and beyond. The challenges they faced had strengthened their bond and deepened their understanding of their roles. The chapter concludes with Aeri standing at the edge of the city, watching as the sun rises over Seoul. The city, vibrant and resilient, symbolized the new beginning that had emerged from the trials and sacrifices. Aeri felt a renewed sense of purpose and hope, ready to embrace whatever adventures and challenges lay ahead.